Hey, what's up YouTube? Mike here, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of my game room. I might be moving soon, and I'm going to have to box all of this stuff up, so I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to show you what I got. So the first thing you'll probably notice when you watch any of my videos on Retro Buyer's Guide is that there's this huge media shelf in the background, kind of looming over everything behind my little miniature couch. And it has pretty much all of my cartridges and a lot of my discs. Some of them are in books because they don't have artwork or cases or whatever. But the majority of my collection is on this shelf, and I've actually downsized quite a bit in the last year here. So you can see here, this top shelf is PS2 games, and there's some pretty good stuff up there. I have Xenosaga Episode 1 and 2, all the Silent Hills are on the PS2, all the Resident Evils, some, weird RPGs like Radiata Stories, the Devil May Cry collection, Dragon's Quest 8, and Dark Cloud, just some interesting stuff like that. Nothing super rare. I don't really have a whole lot of rare games in my collection, but I do have some games that I think are worth playing, and I enjoy having the actual physical copy. In particular, I think the Mega Man Collection X Collection is probably one of the better titles that you can pick up on the PS2, just because it has all of the X games on one disc, and it can get quite expensive collecting these individually, especially like Mega Man X2 and X3 for the Super Nintendo are just stupid expensive. So that's a good title pickup. I also have this nice Dragon's Quest in box. It came with the playable demo for Final Fantasy XII inside, so that's pretty cool. And it's just a cardboard box that just houses the PS2 game, but I still like having the box itself. That's kind of neat, so put that back in there. Final Fantasy 10 and then 10-2. So on the top shelf here, which you can't really see, I have a little plastic bucket here, and I have all my portable games. If you kind of look in here, you can see there's just all kinds of portable things. Metroid 2 for Game Boy, Capcom Classics for GBA. This one's pretty cool because it has Mighty Final Fight on it. So that's a really cheap way to get Mighty Final Fight on a cartridge without actually having to pay for the American NTSC release, which is $100 or more, I think. No, probably not that expensive. Probably more like $80, 75, $80. Anyway, I've got some Game Gear stuff. Shinobi. What else do I have in here? Oh, here's a fun one. Yoshi's Topsy Turvy. So this actually has an accelerometer in the cartridge, and when you tilt the Game Boy Advance, it actually moves Yoshi back and forth. So you can't play this one on like the Game Boy player on your GameCube. I mean, I guess you could if you picked up your GameCube and started rocking it back and forth. Wario Land 3. This game is awesome. And so is Wario Land 4 for Game Boy Advance. Definitely pick those up. I have some RPG stuff in here. PSP games. Here we go. Parappa the Rapper. It's not a good version. You want the PS1 one, but I found it for cheap somewhere, so I picked it up. Why not? Knights and Nightmare. I love these weird Atlas RPG games for the PSP. I just think they're fun to collect, and the PSP is super cheap to collect for right now. So if you haven't started picking up some of those games, you see them around, now's a good time. It's not really too expensive to collect for that system. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls. This is the super easy version of the first two Final Fantasy games, but hey, whatever. It's just a lot of portable games. I'd say I probably have, there's probably at least I'd say 50 games in here. Just stuff I've collected over the years. Put that back up there. Also on top, you can't really see, but I have some TurboGrafx games, Alien Crush, World Court Tennis, and Sonic Spike. I haven't found a whole lot of cue cards for my TurboGrafx 16. I have a... I'll just show you. So I have Bonk's Revenge in the case. That's like the only real complete TG16 game I have. I happen to have an EverDrive for my TurboGrafx, so a lot of my games I just play that way, which, you know, some people don't agree with. They want the actual physical cartridge, or cue card, I should say. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Besides, those things are really expensive, and some of those games I would never, you know, get to experience were not for that. So, second shelf. So we have my NES games, and I have really pared that down. I used to have well over 100, and now I probably have like 30 of my favorite games. But some good stuff in there. Battletoads, I know a lot of people hate that game, but I still love it. I find the challenge rewarding. I don't know. Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. Now these, to me, are like, you know, 3 of the most classic Castlevania games ever made, and they deserve to be on my shelf. We'll never sell these. These are fantastic games. Let's see what else do I have up here. I have all 3 Double Dragons. So yeah, let's look at those. So I have Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Those are fun. DuckTales? Anybody? Yeah, that's a good one. You know, Zelda, the gold cartridge. I'm sure a lot of people have that, but it's still cool. Still fun. Maniac Mansion. Okay, so here's you know, one that's kind of expensive in my collection. Here's Mega Man 1 on NES, and this guy's not cheap anymore. It's like $70, I think, and so yeah, there that is. That crazy, awful artwork. And Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3. What else do I have here? Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Heck yeah, man. And these sleeves, how about these sleeves? Aren't these fun? Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Great game. So yeah, I've got some fun NES stuff up here. The Metroid, I have Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, but not 3. How about this one? River City Ransom. That's a classic right there. Also, you see the 3 Famicom games I have. Rockman 4, 5, and 6 on display. I love Famicom games because they have really cool cartridges. This is neat. This is Super Mario 64 autographed to me by Charles Martinet. I saw him at the Sacramento Anime Convention and stood in line and had him fill this out. It says, Super Mike, you the best. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's a neat little personalized item in my collection. Some Super Nintendo games over here. Nothing really super fancy. You know, here's Super Castlevania, the Super Famicom version, and yeah, some other stuff like that. I have Super Mario Kart, and what is this one? Oh yeah, Yoshi's Island import. Pretty fun games. But nothing, you know, like crazy rare. Sega Genesis over on that side, same situation. Nothing really super rare. But some fun games nonetheless. Just games I love. Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. Shelf under that, Atari 2600 games, and then right next to that, 7800. You look a little further below, some 3DS box games, Game Genie right next to it, and then some PSP games. And then a lot of PS1 games. I collected a lot of PS1 stuff for a while. Like I was like super into the PlayStation 1, and bought a lot of RPGs. So I have like Alundra, all the Final Fantasies. So like, you know, there's Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 7, classic, although it's the greatest hits, but whatever. So yeah, Chrono Cross. There you go. So yeah, I got a bunch of RPG games. How about Castlevania Symphony of the Night? That is the definition of a perfect game for the PlayStation 1. Everyone should have that one. Right next to it, I have some Dreamcast stuff. So I've got box copy of Seaman there with a. This is kind of cool. It has a microphone inside. If you don't know what Seaman is, it's got all this stuff. It's crazy, huh? Seaman was a game where you talked to a human fish thing, voiced by Leonard Nimoy, and then it learned stuff. This is what plugs into your controller. It would talk back to you after a while. It's kind of like a, I don't know. It's just a weird game, but yeah, pretty cool. I'm glad to have that in my collection. With all the Kickstarter craziness, I have Shenmue. There you go. It was apparently sold at GameStop at some point. Neat. So I have that. Let's see what else I have here. Space Channel 5, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Crazy Taxi, Jet Grind Radio. I mean, how about that? That is a classic. I got a couple of import games, not anything crazy, but you can see the Capcom versus SNK case for Dreamcast imports. It's a lot bigger than the American one. It's kind of weird, big and thick, and has all the stuff inside. That was a pretty neat game. So yeah, not a whole lot, but you know, some classics, I think. And then below that, I have GameCube games. You can't really see them because the couch is blocking the view, but I have GameCube, Sega CD, and then Sega Saturn games next to that. Notable things to mention: Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, great game. Let's see, what else do I have here? How about Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time Master Quest. That's a pretty rare one. Let's see what else I have. Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart Double Dash, Pikmin 2, some pretty good stuff, Tales of Symphonia. So yeah, some fun stuff. On the Sega CD side, not too many notable titles. Sonic CD, I also don't have them in their original cases. I hate those cases, so I made my own custom cases. It's a DVD case. It has Sonic CD in it. Somewhere I have all the instructions and stuff. There you go. Yeah, I just hate the Sega CD cases and Sega Saturn cases. I also have Vi. It's a pretty cool Sega CD RPG. So yeah, nothing super rare. On the Saturn side, Legend of Oasis, Astal, Clockwork Knight, let's see, Daytona USA, Galactic Attack. So, you know, some fun stuff. Let me go to the other side here. I also have a Game & Watch. This is a Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. Pretty classic, pretty rare. Found this, or actually a friend of mine gave this to me, and that was really nice for Christmas. So he apparently had it in his closet for a long time. So that was pretty nice. That's why you should always tell everyone you know that you collect games, because you never know who has some games just sitting in an attic and they just want to get rid of them. So yeah, do that. Also, I have, this is also given to me. This is the Dreamcast arcade stick. And oh man, do I love this thing. It is so much better than the Dreamcast controller. I'm sorry if you like the Dreamcast controller. I think it sucks. That's why I use this thing. Put that back. I also have some other stuff like the Dreamcast keyboard. So you can play some, boop, there we go. Play some Typing of the Dead and surf the internet. No, I'm just kidding. You don't do that. But yeah, so that's kind of everything I have on that shelf. Let's look at some other stuff. Okay, so on the other side of the room, I have my arcade machine, which I put together myself. If If you watched episode, I think 3, I talk about it. Got a stool here too, so that I can sit and play arcade games. It's pretty sweet. And I have a little mini pinball machine here for Gundam, which is pretty fun. I love pinball, but I don't have room for a full-size machine, so this thing will have to do. And then I framed some advertisements. That's Paper Mario. That's an advertisement out of a Next Generation magazine from 1998, and then the Shinmu advertisement in solid black on either side of that. You'll see some Mario stickers too. I have a whole bunch of those going around the game room here. Anyway, going back to the top, some Nintendo Power posters, Battletoads Double Dragon, Mega Man, Dragon Ball Z, Metroid for the Game Boy, Pokemon, and just some other random memorabilia. Frogger. On this bookshelf, I have my Commodore 64 monitor and Vectrex. The Commodore 64, you see it in there. Let's take a closer look. And down here's like all my strategy guides and Nintendo Power stuff on a shelf. And then right next to it is the Virtual Boy. Yeah, I have one of those. So, alright, let's pan over here. And let me walk back a little bit. Ooh, it's bright. Let me just, there we go, try to fix that a little bit. Okay, so next to the Game Boy Advance is all my consoles. It's kind of hard to see because it's bright in here, I apologize. We'll go over them one by one. So over here I have the top-loading NES 101, which is modded for composite with an EverDrive cartridge. And next to that I have a Super Nintendo with S-Video output and an EverDrive cartridge. A Sega Genesis Model 1 that's modded for S-Video output with an EverDrive cartridge and a Sega CD Model 2 attached. N64, classic. A Dreamcast with the Retrobit VGA S-Video adapter and my weird N64 controller that I prefer over the other one that came with the system. Alright, so let's go down a shelf. Here we have the PS2 Slim and the PS1 Mini, which is modded to play backups with a chip. I should also mention that this PS2 has free McBoot on it, so it can also play backups. Moving over, we have the GameCube, and next to that, it's kind of hard to see, but that's a TurboGrafx 16 with an EverDrive. Let's go down a shelf again. So here's the Atari 7800 with the controller, which I also used to play 2600 games because it is backwards compatible. And a Neo Geo CD, which again I apologize, kind of hard to see, but that is a Neo Geo CD. See if the bright, colorful controller shows up. There you go. Moving over from that, I have Sega CD with my action replay cards. I've shown that several times. I really need to stop showing Sega so much love and do some other consoles. And then next to that is an Xbox. I was about to say an Xbox One. It's an original Xbox. Again, kind of hard to see, but and that one is soft modded as well to play a bunch of emulators and backups and all that stuff. So moving up, I have a Retron 5 on this table, and you might be thinking to yourself, that's redundant. Why does he have all those consoles and then he just has a Retron 5? And, well, there's a good reason for it, because the output on the Retron 5 is HDMI, and it actually makes old console games look really, really good. So it has its uses as well, but I do prefer to have the original hardware. So yeah, I have both. That's fine. Over here is my desk. This is where I edit stuff. I was just watching some summer games done quick. And I have my mixer, and then just a whole bunch of mess of adapters chaining everything together back there. It's madness. You don't want to go back there, trust me. And then in this little cabinet down here I have, hey, it's a Wii U. And then under that, PS4. And right next to that, my gaming PC. So I do play modern stuff, despite the fact that this is a retro-focused channel. We'll close that. And my MacBook, and some amiibos, and a keyboard. And that is pretty much my game room, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll try to make some more videos soon. But when I start moving, I tear all this stuff down. You're probably not going to hear anything from me for a couple of weeks. Oh, I should show you this. Down here is just a milk crate full of weird controllers and peripherals. I showed some of those off in episode 10, but I have so much more. You have no idea. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for checking out my game room with me. And I will be back next week with a new episode. Until then, happy collecting.